Bakersfield, Ryan Hale. From Olympia, Heidi Arnold. On deck, man number 2 at 100. A pass in the rear down, Rocco from the call. On deck, man. On deck, mat number 1. From Gibson City, Melbourne City, Johnny Boy. From Dan
Campbell for three. The guard, 5'10", senior, 13, Lee Fulkerson. Nicholas. Nicholas Hyde. Nicholas Seaver. Nicholas Seaver.
This is Overtime with Chris Dewar, only on KHQA.
Well, this is Saturday, February 11th, and you have entered Overtime, the hardest working little show in Tri-State television, grinding away from dawn until dusk to give you the local lowdown on all things sport. Tonight, my friends, my special two-part series, Mean Boys, begins, taking us to both Macomb and Hannibal as we talk about the scourge of guys in singlets roaming high school gyms with the goal of twisting their peers into odd-shaped pretzels, probably better known to you as the sport of high school wrestling. The postseason, and it is high drama indeed. Plus, the Quincy University men's and women's basketball teams attempt to keep the momentum rolling at home tonight. I'll tell you how the blizzard of basketball goodness is changing the Tri-States forever. But we start tonight, oh, we do indeed, at one of my favorite basketball venues. We're at the Bowl in Jacksonville, Quincy High visiting, renewing a great rivalry. In fact, Mel Rustio there, the former Jacksonville coach of some renown, watching this game tonight. The Blue Devils coming in on a hot streak. Jacksonville, Pate the Great and company have lost 5 straight coming in. Right off the bat, it is D'Angelo Dean, the art of simplicity. Just the simple turnaround shot. At the other end, though, Jacksonville off to a hot start early. Dalton Keene, the future Division I football player, shows off a nice fall-away jump shot right there. Jacksonville, as I said, trying to snap out of it. Rudy Pate, look at the spinorama move. You know what? Jacksonville scored early in the first quarter, had buckets falling, including this one, my friends, from long range by Nick Kaufman. Jacksonville with the early lead. Here comes Quincy High School coming back. Alley-oop. Cole Abbey is there to finish it very nicely, and that kid's got some ups. Again, we had more to come right here. It's Peyton Dugan knocking down the early jump shot. Jacksonville hit 5 early buckets, then went ice cold the rest of the way. Cole Abbey and the Blue Devils just kept chipping away and building in this game. Abbey with a great bucket there. D'Angelo Dean had himself a 15-point night. That's just not how you guard him. The spin move, the drop step, done to perfection there. Jakari Mitchell with a great buzzer beater for Jacksonville, but that was about the extent of the highlights after the first quarter. All Blue Devils as they grind out a hard scrabble victory, improve to 17-6 on the season, 48-36 your final in favor of Quincy High School. Meanwhile, Quincy Notre Dame trying to avenge last year's loss to these guys, the Liberty Eagles, who came in all fired up in this game. All the big guys in this game got into trouble with fouls early, so we'd rely on perimeter fun in this one to start with. Chris Dietrich from the outside knocking down the 3. How about Jordan Obert looking for Jared Shover, who, my friends, is just plain athletic. Beautiful finish for Shover at the other end as he kisses one there off the glass neatly. Liberty working it again. This time it's Isaac Murphin working the offensive glass. He's going to get the bucket, the Band-Aid, and the 3-point play. I told you, big guys getting in foul trouble right and left in this game. Not Alex Fitch, though. He's just too darn smooth. A little spinorama right-handed move that falls in for him. Then it's Evan Claney. He's a big guy. He didn't foul out. He did some work right here, kissing one neatly off the plexiglass as well, drawing contact at the same time. Shover just kept answering in this game, bringing Liberty at this point to within 2. Quincy Notre Dame, though, goes on a mad rush towards the end of the first half. It starts right here with Alex Fitch hooking up with Sam Douglas, knifing through the double team, finding his way home. Quincy Notre Dame avenges last year's loss by the final count in this one of 55-39. Also one of our favorite events of the year, the Riverton Shootout. Macomb playing in the marquee game against the host team, Nick Sievers. Oh, he was fired up tonight and had himself a pretty good night. Everybody named Nick played well in this game. More on that in a second. Reed Fulkerson hooking up with the aforementioned Nick Sievers, who finishes nicely there. Matt Atkinson hooking up with the other Nick in this one, Nick Hiley. He had a game-high 25 points for the Bombers, who started off with a really nice rush here in the first quarter at Riverton's expense. It's Hiley to Sievers this time, who cleans up, working that strength of his hard up against the low post right there and getting it to go. And then more to come right here as it's Sievers again, this time off the feed from Mr. Fulkerson. That's a 3-point play. This game nip and tuck throughout. Macomb, though, loses a heartbreaker at the end by a singular point. Macomb loses to a very good Riverton team in this one. Final count, I wrote it down somewhere, 57-56 in favor of Riverton. Elsewhere tonight on the docket, Brimfield undefeated and showing why tonight as they roll into Rushville and beat up on Mark Darr's team. Final count in that one was 65-42, and in a score we just received, Pittsfield goes on the road, beats Brown County 48-42. Dalton Hoover with 16 points there, my friends, in the victory for the Saukees. Let's go to college basketball now. Oh, you know what? A rough road loss early in the season for Quincy University at William Jewell today, a day of atonement for the Hawks, and it started here with this fella knocking one down. That, my friends, is Austin Weber with the early 3. Finished the day with 9 points. Justin Brock's scoring binge continued, but his best highlight of the day came here, drawing a critical charge in the first half on Nick Larson. You know what? The Hawks drew 3 charges in the first half. That's pretty darn good defense, my friends. More to come right here. Brock also finding his cutters on the day. How about Jordan Wilson with a pretty scoop shot at that point? Ended his day with 6 points. Mark Mason, though, keeps the Cardinals alive. In fact, gives them a 24-23 lead with the runner late in the first half. But Brock was up to his old tricks in the low blocks, up and under and good for 2 of his 23 points in the day. That's his 3rd consecutive game with 20 or more points. Then Chris Babbitt from the outside, he had 12 on the day. The Hawks shot 64% from the field in the second half, kind of pulled away there and kind of got their revenge on William Jewell, winning this one by the final count of 76-65. Elsewhere on the day, Western Illinois goes on the road to Tulsa. And they can't beat Oral Roberts there either. Oral Roberts continues its mastery of the Leathernecks, winning by 10, 61-51. Ceola Clark with 23 points in the loss. Baker knocks out Culver Stockton, 63-52. The Trailblazers of John Wood improved to 18-5 on the season, going on the road and beating Blackhawk. Reagan Bringer with 24 there. Heartbreaking double overtime loss at home for HLGU. And in your score of the day, the Grinnell system. They don't play much defense with this, and when you go to double overtime, the numbers were ridiculous today. Illinois College wins on senior day, putting up 144-135. That's like an old Doug Moe Denver Nuggets score at that point, but that is your final. A happy senior day for the Blue Boys of Illinois College. And when we come back, we send the Tri-State's best wrestlers on both sides of the river off to state. Plus, we'll celebrate the unique renaissance of Hannibal Pirate basketball that's taking place right now under Matt Pugh. And welcome back to Overtime, everybody. This is the day Champagne dreams became reality for the land of Lincoln's best wrestlers. And some of Western Illinois' finest grapplers enjoyed a rare bit of advantage in only having to make a short road trip to Macomb for sectionals, including 113-pounder Jack Lucy in a brawl in the semifinals here with Riley Beard, 10th rated of IVC. He was up 3-1 early. Jack told me strongest kid he's ever wrestled, but Jack turns the tables on him here and ends up earning the victory by points today. Jack moving on into the finals against the winner of this next match, Antonio Quintana and D-Mac's John Donovan. And this, my friends, would be a series of takedowns leading to Antonio Quintana winning an 11-4 decision. It would be Quintana and Lucy rematching. Quintana won earlier in the season, but Lucy ends up taking the title today of the sectional, beating Quintana by points in a thriller 5-3. Congratulations to both gentlemen headed off to state. Meanwhile, at 145, there's no doubt about it. Jonah Coggeshall is really good, taking on Casey Noel right here of Bismarck, and it was takedown city for Camp Point Central's finest, as this was an absolute clinic. And usually in the semifinals, you don't see this kind of dominance. Everybody's really, really good. Jonah just went nuts on this kid today. In fact, going to turn him over, grab the wing, and just put this kid's shoulder blades to the mat for the easy pin. Jonah Coggeshall would go on to win his weight division, although it wasn't easy today because his opponent at 145 was a bit of a very pleasant surprise for us here locally. Maverick McCarty out of West Hancock taking on Ryan Greenwood of Porta. Best match of the day. 2 takedowns late in this match for Maverick McCarty. You see the second of which right here give him a 4-1 victory, send him off into the championship, book him passage to state. Couldn't beat Coggeshall, but great matchup there. This was a great matchup at 152 as well. McCombs' Jared Rockhold against Beardstown's David Acosta. Acosta down 2 at this point, trying to come up with anything. As he tries to make the move, he gets ankle picked a bit, and there is Rockhold, just kind of falls on top of him and ends up grabbing the pinfall victory. Rockhold finished second on the day, lost his championship match at 152, but Mr. Rockhold headed off to state and gets the pin there. That's a pretty darn good reaction. We had some great reactions from winners today. Nothing, though, exciting from Clayton Seward, who's just business as usual. Tough match right here with Chase Shriver of Eureka. It's a 4-0 decision for Seward, who just got his control right there and got the 4-0 win. He would take on the winner of a much more spirited matchup right here between Matt Supernaut of Macomb and Zach Abney. This one went down to the wires. A little bit of a controversial takedown right here at the end by Abney. Is his leg free when he gets the takedown? Tough to say from any angle. You know what? Abney was awarded the 2 points, and that was the difference in a 6-5 match, which would send Abney off to wrestle Mr. Seward in the championship match, and it would be Seward winning that and moving on to state, as did Zach Abney. First place for Seward, second place for Zach Abney, who's had a great season for Pittsfield, showing up nicely here. And you got to love the sportsmanship after this war. Those two kids have wrestled each other about 1 billion times, really liking each other and kind of showing the mutual respect there. Story of the day, though, right here. This guy, Jalen Beebe, you couldn't be happier for anybody, from Quincy Notre Dame at 182, taking on Lucas Rice. Got the victory today there. We had more highlights. Something happened to them in the computer. I apologize to Jalen. Maybe I'll show you some more of those tomorrow. But Jalen Beebe wins first place sectional by a 6-3 decision over Lucas Rice in the semifinals, then moves on. So Jalen Beebe, one of 4 Quincy Notre Dame Raiders headed off to state. The only one, though, as a sectional champion. Jalen, a great kid, as I mentioned earlier, and great to see him having that kind of success. Really kind of a star-making moment for that kid today. Also moving on today, by the way, apologies, my battery ran out at 182 pounds. Garrett Kessner, the human muscle of Central Southeastern, gets a sectional championship and moves on. Colton Pease had a rough go of it today just because of the bracket, which was loaded. This bodes well, though, for the young man's chance, probably our best chance to win at state. The Pittsfield heavyweight rolls on to a sectional championship. Again, he may be our best chance to win a state championship next week. We will be in Champaign tracking that for you as well. We also had district title time in Hannibal today. They started the championships 30 minutes early, which means I missed 106-pounder Chandler Foey winning a thrilling 8-7 decision today. Apologies, Chandler, but we will try to see you next week in Columbia. Meanwhile, best story of the day, 126 pounds, Tyler Janes. He got cleared from a broken bone in his tibia on Monday. He's out there wrestling. Look at the style. Never got off his knees, but he made it work. First, the takedown. It's a ridiculous style. We do a big story on him tomorrow night, which you will see after the Grammys. But Tyler says it's a really defensive-oriented style, but look at him go right there. Gets control of his man right there. Eventually gets his 2 points as he kind of works in for the takedown. Again, that leg at about 70%, he told me afterwards, but look at him break away and somehow get the escape, even with the leg not what it was. This kid is just absolutely unreal. Tyler just doing work today. Mr. Janes, and then the cradle of death, if you will. He's going to get a pinfall victory. Again, this kid hadn't wrestled in 9 weeks, comes in today against the best competition in the district, wins it all, and I told you we had great reactions. This is absolutely fantastic, and he's not showing anybody up. You got to love the kid. What he's been through this season, thinking he might not wrestle, This was just, you know, how do you call highlights with a lump in your throat? Because that's exactly what we had today, watching this kid pull it off. And again, you will hear from this fine young man coming up tomorrow night on our Sunday news. Meanwhile, also doing some work today, this guy, Colby Collins, at 132 pounds. It was just a takedown machine. Again, making short work of his man, gets the ankle pick right here, kind of turns his kid over and going to get into position. And this was the kind of workmanlike effort that Collins had going today at 132 pounds, as the Hannibal Pirates just absolutely kind of found their mojo today, for lack of a better word. From the neutral position to the controlled position, it's all about Colby Collins today, as he's going to end up winning a title at 132. Titles were the order of the day for the Hannibal Pirates. You saw they opened up the match with 3 straight. They are your district champions today by virtue of sending 7 guys off to state. Among the winners today, who you do not see here, Jacob Borgmeyer at the heavyweight division, who avenged, he told me earlier today, the kid that he beat in the championship went to triple overtime with earlier this season, so good win for Jake Borgmeyer. Logan Clark, a title at 190 pounds. Congratulations to that young man, who's kind of been the quiet storm for the Pirates all season long. Also headed off to state, Brady Ruby, who finished second at 170 pounds, and Kyle Muring, who we showed you last night, had to go back up through the back draw today, or actually through the third place draw, ends up taking it to book his passage to state at 220 pounds. Congratulations to the Pirates. And we do love the wrestling, because we have more good news for you. Keokuk is headed to state with 5 guys, 4 of them as runners-up, including Chase Hillenthal, Derek Rose, Gabe Martin, and Ryan Maxwell. The big story of the day, we've got great heavyweights on all sides of things. I don't know when the heavyweight division has ever been better. I mean, obviously, John Wise was really, really good, and Tyler Perry was really good, but 3 super heavyweights in 3 states, all of them who could win state championships. Alex Goss going off to state as a district champion today with his win at 285 pounds. So you look at him, you look at Borgmeyer, you look at Colton Pease, a fine, fine year for wrestling here in the Tri-States. Also a fine start to the postseason for the Central Lee Lady Hawks as they open their district tonight with a 69-42 win over Cardinal of Eldon. Congratulations to Taylor Burdett, who had herself a big night, double-double to lead her team to victory. Up next for them, a showdown with Van Buren on Tuesday at IGHSAU. Senior day at Quincy High School today, really neat stuff here. Anna Leenertz was declared out for the season with concussion issues. She got to start today. Greg Altmix runs a specially designed set of plays for her right off the bat. And to his credit, very classy, Todd McGackey agrees not to defend her. He gives her a chance to hit 2 long threes. She cannot hit them, but nobody cared at this point. Just great to see her out on the court. And afterwards, quick timeout. She gets pulled off. Pretty emotional moment here as well. Big hugs, standing ovation from everybody in the gym, including every last one of the Fort Madison Lady Bloodhounds. As I told you, class acts all the way around today. More to come in this one. Caitlin Holtkamp got the Bloodhounds off to the great start in this game, backing down her defender. Great bucket in the low blocks. But Paige Abel and the Blue Devils, they started slow and they got things going. 3 there works, and then it's Jordan Eisenberg with the amazing scoop shot to lead Quincy High School to victory today over Fort Madison. 54-29 was your final. Jordan Eisenberg had 9 there. A great game for her. Also tonight, Marion County is your champion of the Brashear tournament, thanks to 36 points from Jessica Red with 2 Ds. Apologies about that. Also in the 3rd place game, Elizabeth Lindberger and North Shelby take out Macon County by the final count there of 43-35. Women's college basketball today. Oh, you know what? The Lady Hawks bring out unbridled joy to their fans, both young and old, with a 7-game win streak working. Darla Gatchenberger had herself a really nice day. 3 of 3 from 3-point range. That's why you have her here. This is what she does. Knocks down long jumpers. Then it's the Allie Schwagmeyer show. Great pass right here. She's going to find her distance from 3, knock that down. Then it's Allie playing distributor. She can do that as well, as you will see right here. Looking for Miss Lindsay Hankey, who had herself another incredible day, a double-double. She draws the bucket and the contact there for 3 of her 19 points. She also had 14 rebounds, as I mentioned. Same dynamic working right here. Allie Schwagmeyer kind of had the radar working today as she finds a wide-open Lindsay Hankey. How do you lose a 6'4" girl on the court? Apparently, William Jewell's going to do exactly that. More from Allie. She had herself a 20-point day. Cassidy Schumann getting into the act as well. Going to knock down the long jumper. And then we had some really pretty stuff as well from the emerging Lucy Cramsey as the Quincy University women win big today, 78-51. That's 8 straight wins for them. Nice to see Jenny Garber's team playing so well. Also on the day, Jessie Logsdon with 23 points in a losing cause for Culver Stockton. It was Harris Stowe losing to HLG. John Wood wins on the road against Monmouth College's junior varsity team. And Western Illinois' win streak comes to an end at the hands of Oral Roberts. And when we come back, we're going to talk about all the good that Matt Q has done with Hannibal basketball. On first blush, it may have seemed one of those no-brainer type college coaching career moves, or high school coaching career moves, if you will, jumping from tiny Iberia High School in mid-Missouri to the better-resourced Hannibal program back in 2008. That established Matt Pugh was also well acquainted with the roller coaster fortunes and wildly inconsistent results that had plagued Pirate basketball for the last 2 decades, and he knew he was looking at a major overhaul and a daunting task. Fortunately for America's hometown, Matt Pugh is not a man who scares easily. Whether it's besting cancer, rolling up his sleeves and trying to forge a basketball culture from the ground up, or diving into his first season back in '08, going to war with a bunch of really green freshmen against more seasoned, talented varsity players. Countless hours of toil, sweat, and quite honestly, basket humblings later, the light at the end of the tunnel is suddenly blinding.
Oh, I mean, yeah, sure. You always have doubts, especially when you're, going through those growing pains. But, like you said, having the patience and the persistence to kind of get through that patience and persistence is paying off.
For all the positive attributes Matt Pugh has brought to bear in rehabbing Hannibal basketball, none may have been more valuable than the time the Pirate coach spent cutting his teeth on Andy Anderson's staff at Canton. The attributes that have made Anderson so very successful resonate very readily and very obviously in this Pirate group.
I think their ability to, kind of keep grinding and sticking with it, it has been something that I think's been really, really good to see. And probably the biggest thing is their ability to use past experiences and have some carryover, from year to year and game to game, and learn from those situations that they've been in the past. And yes, it's nice to see those adjustments pay off.
Sounds a little like someone we know, doesn't it? The blue-collar ethos of this Pirate team didn't just happen overnight. It was a deliberate, sometimes painstaking evolution that was not without its growing pains. But the change is impossible to miss.
The biggest change, I would say, has been buying into the culture, because he's telling us defense wins games. Everybody thinks you got to score, but really if you can stop somebody, you can win a game.
Yeah, we've been in some tough situations in the past, and progressing, we've figured out how to deal with those and learned how to finish a lot better as seniors and juniors.
We've seen other people do it, had success, so we bought in, and now doing the exact same.
That growth might have been most pronounced this past Thanksgiving at the Saki Turkey Tournament, where Hannibal trotted out roughly the same starting lineup it has for 4 years running, but with very different results, running the tournament table and holding its foes to 41 points per game in the offing, causing Saki coach Brad Tomhave to quip that the Pirates play Illinois-style basketball better than most Illinois teams.
It's a very, very conscious type effort. That's something that I think can carry you through a lot of tough times, not only, from game to game or quarter to quarter, half to half, whatever it may be, but, having some toughness and will get you through a lot of life situations, which is, ultimately is kind of what we're trying to teach these guys is, traits that they can carry on and use to be successful in life.
Success has clearly affirmed that, in the form of a 20-win season and the program's first conference title since 2003. And it's a happy ending in which every Pirate can take ownership.
I mean, we've been doing it for about 4 years now, so everybody knows their role. They know what they need to do. They know where they can get their shots and what shots they can hit.
If we keep playing the way we play, who knows, we could end up in the Final Four, hopefully. Put some more pieces together, we can make a run, I think.
I don't think we've hit our ceiling yet. We've got so many guys that can give us certain things on different nights, but I think for the most part, it's been 1 or 2 guys carrying us each night, and I think we could be really, really, really tough, a tough out, come playoff time if we all get clicking on the same page on one given night.
Not sure anybody's going to argue with you, Matt. Great job thus far. We look for even better from the Pirates heading into the postseason. They ended up really nicely today as well, going on the road and beating Marshall 56-50. Other boys scores from Missouri. J.J. Chatfield with a 12-footer with 2.5 seconds left gives Marion County its second win over state-ranked Novinger this season. 65-63 is your final there. And in the third-place game, lots of guys contributing well today for Knox County. Brady Johnson among them as Knox County beats North Shelby to take third place at the Brashear Tournament. Finally today, Mizzou, Baylor. Battle of top 6 teams in the country, all Mizzou in the second half in this one. Michael Dixon starts the flourish with a 3. Things would get really fun from that point forward. Steve Moore, throw down, big fella, throw down indeed. Made it 43-37 Tigers at that point. Then the threes just started falling. Kimmy English from just, wait, that's NBA distance right there. A 23-8 run for the Tigers at that point. They hit 5 straight threes in it, and the Tigers continue to roll along. They destroyed Baylor today, 72-57 was your final there. Coming up tomorrow night after the Grammys, as I mentioned, lots of goodies for you. All of them local tomorrow night. We will take a look ahead to the big showdown between Illini West and Sherrard. And we're talking more high school wrestling. Again, that great story of Tyler Janes for you. And we'll talk to the heart and soul of West Hancock Wrestling, Maverick McCarty, who's kind of served as the captain and kind of the spearhead of helping you get that program going. All of that for you coming up tomorrow night, roughly about 10:50. Worth staying up late for. Thanks for joining us for Overtime. Next week, state wrestling, one of my favorite weekends of the year. We'll see you then, right here, everybody.